begin today's program. At the Chamber, we're so thankful for partnerships with our community that allow us to host events like today. Our community is stronger when we're all working together. Mayor Allenbaugh has a full agenda for our program today, so without further ado, I'll turn it over to him. Mayor Jess Allenbaugh.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 2019 State of the City Address. Glad so many of you could join us. Boy, these years have gone fast, already year 4, and it seems like just yesterday I walked into that office for the first time. We want to say some thank yous first. First of all, wherever Kylie just went, she's pretty quick. Thank you so much for hosting this event again this year. We appreciate what the Chamber does for our community every day of the year, so thank you so much for that. We want to thank say thank you to Alex Husky and his team here at Ivy Tech. What a beautiful facility. They host this every year since I've been the mayor, and what a wonderful facility we have, and what a special place this is for our community to move us forward into our future. And also we want to thank Peace and Plenty. Is Kid Puckett here? Ken must not be here. I was going to have him stand. I know some people don't know Ken, but he owns the Peace and Plenty, and they were our caterers, so we want to give them a round of applause too. And then we want to introduce to you, who will start off the State of the City, and a person I'm very, very pleased with, and I'm so thankful that she came on board to be the controller for the City of Marion. It took some doing. I felt like I was recruiting LeBron James or one of the stars in the sports because she had options, and I was trying to pull her away from a gig she'd become pretty comfortable with over in Gas City, and spent 18 years as clerk treasurer. And it took me weeks, even into the months, to get her to come over to Marion and help us get better financially, and she's done a wonderful job. So without any further ado, Julie Flores, the City Controller.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mayor Allenbaugh, for giving me a chance to take up some of your time. I appreciate that. Anytime I'm able to come and share the good news of where we stand financially, I'm always happy to do that. So, in reviewing 2018, I was, as I was putting the data together, I was very excited and very enthusiastic about where the numbers were coming in. The first thing, I'm not too sure it's the first thing on the slide, but the first thing I would talk about is the bond bank borrowing. We are, for 2019, we'll be borrowing 25% less than we did in 2018. And overall, since this administration took over, we're borrowing 39.1% less from the bond bank. So to me, that was good news. We continue to borrow less each year from the bond bank because our cash flows are getting healthy. And thanks to the state for giving us additional road money, we are not having to borrow for the MVH or the street funds anymore. So that's good news to us that they're giving us the funds that we need to get the road paving done. The other thing I was really excited about was our ending cash balance for 2018 was 100% more than it was in 2017. So we ended the year with $3.163 million as our cash balance at the bank. So we're really excited about that. Again, the cash flows are getting better. Our expenditures were less than our revenue, which is always a good thing. Revenue is exceeding the expenditures 2.9% in 2018, which equated to $1.5 million in additional revenue that exceeded the expenditures. So, you know, kudos to the department heads for being frugal, being responsible, and perseverable in their spending. I appreciate that, and I know it's not always fun to not be able to get what you need, but hopefully in the future that will get better, because the county council and the city council adopted the additional lit, that's going to be very helpful. So I'm very appreciative to them for seeing the need for that. We actually, I have to look at my notes here to make sure I get these numbers exactly right. The lit will allow us to have an additional 1.4 million going into the general fund and 112,000 going into our edit funds. So this is money that's not appropriated for the 2019 budget. The budgets were already done when this was adopted. So this is money that will not be spent this year unless we need to get an additional appropriation. So again, that's going to help our cash flows, and that is good news to me. Because we'll see that the circuit breakers, which is not part of my slide here, in 2018, the circuit breaker, which is property taxes that we are not able to collect, 30% more in 2017 than 2018. Did I say that right? 2018 circuit breakers were 31% more than they were in 17, and that trend looks to be continuing for 2019. So the additional lit money will most definitely help us with additional expenditures in the future. Hoping not to have to spend that money in 2019, but we just don't know what that's going to entail. So the other thing we need to address is probably the insurance fund. I'm really happy about the way that that is trending. 2018, the ending balance was 30.9% better than it was in 2017. So we're moving in the right direction in getting the insurance fund out of the red. The city council was kind enough to allow us to budget 1.2 million more in 2019 than we had in 2018. And so that will help us get the insurance down. Also, at the end of 2018, we had some employee benefit appropriations, category ones, for those that understand how the budgets work. We had some unused appropriation, and we were able to take that appropriation and move it to the insurance fund. All the spending had already been done, so we were able to take that unused appropriation and to help the insurance fund. So those are things that we are very excited about. The administration has developed a very stringent set of internal controls, and we've created a financial operating culture that helps us detect any process issues related to our financial reporting, accounting operations, or inappropriate behavior related to the handling of money or any other financial matters. And Mayor, if you will allow me now to address the elephant in the room. You've all seen the reports about an investigation into a particular matter regarding our building department and animal control. While I will not discuss specific details of the matter, I do want to address the issue of controls, policy, and culture at City Hall. As a result of our strict financial controls, we noticed a potential issue that we felt needed to be addressed. Accordingly, we brought the matter to the attention of the State Board of Accounts during their routine audit. I want to be clear that we reported this matter to them. Again, we will not comment on the specifics of this matter at this time, but I want to assure all of you that we have detailed policies and processes in place to help us deliver the best and most accurate financial reporting to the taxpayers of Marion. And we are great stewards of the financial assets of the city. We will never forget whose money we are spending. Mayor, I will turn it back over to you.
Well, as you can see, financially, we've made huge gains, and we're definitely trending in the right direction there. And I couldn't be more proud of Julie and the work she's doing for the city of Marion. First, before I get into the state of the city, I would like to do some thank yous and have some people recognized. I see our police department in the very back. Anybody from the Marion Police Department here? I see the chief and Steph. Would you folks stand up back there and be recognized for your work that you do for the city of Marion? I Fire Chief Williams and some of the fire department. Would you folks please stand up and be recognized for the work you do for the city of Marion? Anyone here that's an employee of the city of Marion, would you please stand up and be recognized for your work for the community? These folks are greatly appreciated. I notice Tom Hunt did not stand up. He's tired. He's been in Florida for a few days. But these folks do the daily work of our city government, and I am so thankful for the work they do. Very pleased with the team I've surrounded myself with. I will say, in particular, I'm very pleased with the two really difficult jobs that I brought in for Mike Flynn, Chief of Staff, who's in Indianapolis. His daughter has a medical appointment down there, so he could not be here this year. But Julie Flores as well. Again, I told you how long it took to get Julie on board. We are going in the right direction. We are improving dramatically. I will tell you this, the state of the city is vastly improved, and I couldn't be prouder of the work we've done. Now, I'd also like to recognize the nonprofits that are here that do a lot of work behind the scenes. If you're a person that works for our nonprofits, would you please stand and be recognized? Many of these nonprofits are helping the mayor and the city of Marion with how we're going to do downtown development, how we make our downtown a better place for community and a place that's drawing people to our downtown. And I appreciate the work they do. We sometimes argue and fight among ourselves like any family would, but we resolve those issues and we move on for the betterment of our community. Now, I'd also like to recognize Marion Community Schools. I see Superintendent Brad Lindsay's here with some of his team members. Anybody involved with Marion Community Schools was such an important part of our community. Would you please stand up and be recognized? And then finally, he's not speaking this year, but I'm probably going to have him back next year. The Marion Utilities Director, Chuck Binkert, is here. Chuck, would you and your team please stand up? And then I saw a few people who are members of boards that I've appointed or commissions. If you're a member of a board or commission that I've appointed, would you please stand up for the work you've done for our community? Jackie. Jackie Doty recently accepted a position on the redevelopment commission, which is a very vital part of how we do city business, and she'll be a real asset. So I want to thank her and everyone we've recognized. Your work does not go unnoticed. We appreciate what you bring to our community. As you can see, this bullet points here. I've been around to, I believe, 21 now businesses with Tim Eckerly and the Growth Council. I've been inside some of these businesses, particularly manufacturing, and it is amazing the work that goes on there. But we're also seeing they're encouraged. When we get healthier as a city financially, good things start to happen, and that's the very basis of our foundation that we needed to lay when we came in office. I feel like we've done a great job of that. We can get better. We're working towards that as well. But what we've seen is that business people and developers aren't afraid to put skin in the game now. You can see that driving through downtown. You can drive along the bypass and see all the amenities that we have to choose from now that weren't here just a few short years ago. Their confidence is growing, and I'm trusting that part of that is they have confidence in the administration's trying to do things the right way and improve this community. And again, it takes a team to do that, so I'm very thankful for all the players involved, and we are going to continue to get better and better. I didn't start this journey thinking it was a 4-year sprint. I looked at it as an 8-year marathon. I aim to see it through. We are going to get so much healthier because we're going to stay frugal, but take care of those basic needs of this community before we address the wants of our community. We stayed loyal to that from the start. This year, Julie had to fight me some. I was wanting to fulfill a few wishes and dreams, and she reminded me that when I campaigned, I said, I suspect should I become the mayor, I'll only be able to bake a cake, but it'll be a very good cake. We'll have to wait for the icing sometime down the road. She reminded me the icing wasn't ready yet. Let's be sustainable for at least one more year. And Mike Flynn said, you do know he has to get reelected to recognize any of those dreams in. But we had a long conversation, and in the end, I listened to Julie. And I thought, wise counsel. You know, the good book says, surround yourself with wise counsel. And I feel like I've done just that. And I listened to them. In the end, I have to make the decisions. Some of my decisions have been good, and some haven't been. And I take responsibility for both. But most of the decisions I make are after seeking wise counsel. And I think that's what good leaders should do. Don't think you have all the answers. I've got a lot of talent in this room. Let me listen to you and get feedback as well, particularly in areas that I'm addressing that you may be experts in. And that's how I've tried to operate as your mayor. And haven't always gotten it right, but we feel like we're hitting a pretty good percentage. If this was sports, I'd feel pretty good. You see our city boards there. A lot of people don't know who our board members are. They get appointed by the mayor, some of them, and some are appointed by others. The ones I tried to appoint, I felt like there was a real lack of representation of the entire community when I first came in. So I have focused on trying to find minority people to fill board positions and been specific in trying to make sure, okay, but do they have the gift set that is going to be needed to fulfill those positions? And I made that very intentional, and we've really tried to grow that to have a more true representation of what our community looks like, and have voice and have decision-making power to help move the city forward. And we really made that a focus. I'm pleased with where we're at. I'm not happy. I think we can still do better there, and we will continue to do that. One of the things that I'm very happy about, some of them are in the room here, is we've seen that more and more young families are choosing Marion, Indiana as home. They didn't grow up here. They came to school here or for some other reason, but they decided to stay right here in Marion, Indiana. And we hear all the time people complaining on social media in particular. Why would anybody stay? Well, these folks are moving here because they choose to. They love this place. And you know what they love most? You, the people of this community. That's what makes us great, is you. And getting involved and being a part of your community. Right now we have what we call Breen Acres. I saw Ed Breen here earlier. There's Ed. Breen Acres over in central Marion near the hospital. A number of these young folks are all friends, and they moved in, bought their first homes. And they're living close to each other, hanging out with each other, and they're celebrating Marion. They love it. This is their community, and they're taking ownership, and they're getting involved. And I couldn't be more pleased. If you notice, a lot of our churches are aging, and they're starting to realize, unless we find new members, younger members, we're not going to be open very much longer. That's the city. The city has to look at that too. And I'm really trying to draw and then empower the young members of our community so that they can share the vision of what Marion is going to look like. And feel like we've done a great job of that. We can do better there too, but we're doing much better than we used to. And a good illustration of that's Kayla Johnson. Kayla, stand up real quick. Neighborhood Association Director. She was the Neighborhood Association Director in her late 20s. Came here from North Carolina to Indiana Wesleyan University. Graduated from Indiana Wesleyan. Has decided to make Marion her hometown. She still bears the winters here, doesn't run down to North Carolina that often, goes to see family, comes back home. Has a lot of good friends here in the community. I can tell you that she's making a difference in the city of Marion, and I couldn't be prouder of her. So we'll go on to the next slide here. You got a chance to read all that. You can see the homes being built, new homes, which we need desperately. If you talk to East Central Indiana realtors, they'll tell you that. And one of the other things we need besides homes are condos. And now let me tell you this, one of the things that's kind of strange to me, but I hear from the realtors is, we not only need condos, we need condos that stand alone, that aren't connected to another condo. Oh, and they need 2.5 car garages. That's the market they're in. In Kokomo, which realtors tell me the same thing. That's what we're hearing too. So we need to figure that out and find private investors that will say, hey, Marion's starting to turn around. We might want to take a look there and develop there. And condos are in great need. I'm hearing that over and over. So if you're any developers here, hear me out. Over $4 million of commercial investment was made here last year. That's incredible. We are a city on the rise, folks. People are starting to choose Marion, not get stuck in there. They're choosing this community because they want to be here. As you go driving down the bypass, a number of new dining options for us, and there's more to come. There's some work's already been done in the building commissioner's office, all the stuff people need to do before they start their builds. There are more on the horizon. Those are amenities that we can all then have more options when we go out to enjoy an evening with friends and family. Those things are things that we need to do as a community to improve our quality of life and place. We can talk about the manufacturing over and over again, but Tim Eckley and the Growth Council know this better than most. A number of our manufacturers would hire more people. They just can't get people to come to work. The jobs are there. The lack of the employees that want to come and work is where we're short on. And that's not just Marion. This has become a nationwide problem. But we've got to do a better job of that. I've met with Alex Husky, the director of Ivy Tech. He's implementing some programs that will bear fruit for us in the not too distant future, because they are communicating with these local manufacturers. What are the needs? What can we do as an Ivy Tech institution to fulfill those needs? So it takes a village, folks, and everybody's got to do their part. I'm thankful that Alex is looking for ways to change our community. As you can see, multiple buildings downtown. That downtown's been dormant since at least the 80s. Things are happening. I saw Bill Reese here and Steve Sapp here. If you've invested in downtown, would you please stand up? You just put skin in the game. Are any of the young Turks here? They're not here today, but anyway, these folks see life in downtown. They see Marion getting turned around and getting healthy again. And now they've put their hard-earned money into the game. They're taking a risk. We're going to come behind as a community and your city government and try to enhance the downtown. We're going to come in there and make that a better looking downtown. And we're going to do that by changing the streetscapes, changing the lighting downtown. Many ways. Ballard Field's going to come to life in the not too distant future. I'll have to work with Julie on that because there's going to be some cost there, but that should be a gathering place. That should be a river plaza. That should be a place where people come to hang out. We're going to take the walkway from behind Creaches all the way to Ballard Field and down to the bridge, and we're going to have a bike path there as well. City planner Sam Ramsey, where's Sam? Sam Ramsey there, he's working on how we connect our Cardinal Greenway to the walkway with bike trails right now. We're going to expand it and make a more user-friendly community for our walkers and our bikers, the people that want to get all over this community without driving their car everywhere. There's a great need for that, especially in your younger crowd. So that's some of the things we're trying to do. Again, the thing I hear that I'm most proud of when I go to Meijer or Needler's or Walmart, wherever I go to the stores, is when I hear people come up and tell me they feel like there's hope again for Marion, Indiana. That speaks to my heart. That's what I felt was lacking when I took over. And I feel like if we don't build hope in our community, we need to build the hope for everyone though. And that's why I meet with a group that many of you would know that is trying to make sure that everyone's included. They're trying to help me come up with solutions to bring up everyone in the city. How can we help every citizen, and what's that going to look like? What are the things we can do practically to give everyone a chance to feel like they're part of this community and have a path towards a good life in their community. So we're working on that, trying to formulate that plan. It's a work in progress, to be honest with you, but I'm intentional about trying to accomplish that. We can't just take care of all those people that are professionals and that look just like me. We have to bring everybody along on this journey. We're going to figure that out. Here comes the guts of city government work, the practical side, what city government first should do for you, which is take care of your basic needs, your infrastructure. We continue to put every penny we get towards the roads, into the roads. We're not directing it towards another cause. We're putting it right back into what we need to do first. I really believe, again, this is part of that foundation building. Getting healthy financially, then take care of the basic stuff first before we do the dreams that I have and that you have for our community. We have to get solid with that foundation, and this is part of foundation building. 20% of the existing roads are less than 3 years old now. We'll continue to focus this summer, this spring, on our major thoroughfares as we try to pave as many of them as we can from one end of town to the other, so that you at least have some streets that we don't have to worry about potholes when the weather changes. If you watch Indianapolis news, it is a battle in every city. And as we can get more and more of these roads paved, especially those major ones, we'll be a better community. It will give you access to your job, to the hospital, to your doctor, to the schools, wherever you need to be, because those are the roads we all have to use. I know I get calls and emails and texts all the time from people that want to know about the street in their neighborhood. We'll get there, but let's get these major thoroughfares paid first so that we at least have access on a daily basis to those destinations, because you can get there if you use the major thoroughfares. One of the things I will start focusing on more this year is around the school zones. I want to start looking to pave some of those streets around our schools. We need to, and in the not too distant future, as we get healthier financially, I really want to start doing sidewalks in the school areas. We need to. I look over here at Brad and Federa and this group from Marion Community Schools, and it worries me when I see the kids walking out in the street. The first focus for me for sidewalks will be how do we do it around the schools. We want to give them as much sidewalk towards their destination as we can possibly give them. Let's take care of the kids first. So that will be the focus as we get healthier financially and start working on sidewalks. Reminder, look at the cost there, $180,000 per mile for road. That's what it costs to pave streets. And it's no wonder we can't pay nearly as much as I would like. Every year I'm like, is that all we could do? I want to do more. And the potholes, come on people, somebody has to be able to come up with some kind of patch system that works better than what we have now. This is ridiculous. This is another area of focus, the blight. And some people get it. We're doing as much as we can with the money we have, but the blight's pretty substantial. It's not like it was when I was young. People aren't able to keep their house or just don't keep their homes as nice as they used to. There's a lot of people that don't have the resources, and there's some that just don't care about it as much as we used to. But we are trying to address that. You can look at the numbers there. Last year, a total of 40 structures were demolished. And I'll just be candid with you. There's a structure that is downtown, the old Nautilus, we call it, next to Busy Bees, Barry Blair's business. And Barry's been putting up with that monstrosity for some time now. We're going to get that building torn down there at 8th and Adams this spring, early this spring. That was one where I struck out for sure, and I take full responsibility. I went to the Board of Works and asked them to take that off. We have a couple from Upland that wants to invest and do a project here that will draw community, will work with the underserved in our community. It will be a multi-purpose building, and they have a great vision and dream. Unfortunately, it didn't come to reality, and this is my whip. I put you guys on the hook, the taxpayers, so we're gonna tear that down. We are looking, is there any responsibility for the other party to pay a portion of that or not, but we're gonna do it one way or the other. Barry deserves that. You can see code enforcement, probably the busiest office per phone call in City Hall. They don't call me near as much as they call the building department. And that's 2,957 calls. They did over 7,000 inspections. And yet we all look around and we still see blight and think, when are they going to get to that one? One of the things I would like to focus on a little more this year, and it will upset people in other parts of the city, I get that. But I'd like to clean up our front porches a little quicker. 18 East and West within the city limits, Washington Street and Adams Street inside the city limits. Those are heavily traveled roads. That's the front porch. When visitors come, that's all they see. They're going to whatever destination they're going to. They travel our main thoroughfares. We want to clean those up and get those looking more attractive. If you don't believe that works, go to other communities, drive down their major thoroughfares, and drive 2 blocks, 3 blocks east or west, north or south of those. You'll start to see the blight. But they've cleaned up their front porch. And I think that's huge. We need to show a more positive Marion to those who are just passing through. They need to see life is coming to this community, because it is. It's because people are putting their own money in the game. They're taking risks. I can tell you, does anybody know there's a new furniture store open downtown? How many of you know that? Raise your hand if you knew the one just opened. Better than I thought. It opened in January. And we'll talk a little bit more about that here soon, but they've invested in downtown again. They believe we're coming back strong, stronger than ever. And they put money in the game. Our fire department, police department continue to do their job. And, you know, those are jobs I was being offered back in my 20s when I was a young man. And I turned them down. It wasn't in me. It was not in me to be doing the job. It definitely wasn't going to run into fire, I can tell you that right now. I wasn't going through those doors, I was going the other way. But I turned down both of those when I had a chance to pursue those careers. So I really appreciate the people, the men and women that pursue those career paths, because they put their life on the line for us, folks, every day. 183 total fires last year. It takes about 3.5 minutes to get to most structure fires. 2.5 minutes for ambulance assist. If you notice, often the fire department may be the first one to an accident before the ambulance arrives. Our police force and leadership continue to be very professional. Let's face it, last year was a very difficult year. It's a very difficult time to be a police officer right now in the country, let alone just Marion, Indiana. It is a tough job. I look over here at the Marion schools. When we were young, people that are in my age bracket, I know there's not a lot of you in the room, but my age and older, we had a great deal of respect and admiration for our police and teachers. And it seems like that's been almost a 180 turn anymore. And I think that's sad because the vast majority of those who serve in those capacities do it out of love and passion for the occupation. They want to be difference makers. And yet the tone they are talked to now has changed considerably. So Brad, you and your team, kudos to you. It's a very difficult job, but I look at my public safety people and think the same thing, especially our police department. It is a different game, and Chief Haley will tell you it's harder and harder to attract good talent to the police department. Very difficult. We'll tell you this, we were hoping to do it in the last year's budget, but that was to get more people on this police department. Hang on just a second, I'm gonna wet my whistle here. We were hoping to add additional police officers in this year's budget that we created last year. But some of the city council decided they prefer to have the body cameras. And after a discussion with Chief Haley, she said that was one of my top priorities. If you want to do that, we could do that. So we wanted to do that because we wanted to get this budget approved as it was presented. We didn't want any changes. We thought it was paramount that we get this budget through for one more year. So we are doing the body cameras with the police department. We're in the testing mode right now. Chief Haley and I talked yesterday. They're testing different models. Some you wear on the outside of your shirt. They can get dislodged in the scuffle. If you get the kind that gets you have a special vest that they wear that the camera gets tucked inside of there, it's not as likely to come out. Now, which one is the best type of camera? They're working through all the details of the camera. So those are happening. They will happen sometime, we believe by this year, you will see the police department wearing cameras. Right now, again, they're in the testing stage. But in giving up those positions we were hoping to add, I've gone back to Julie Flores, the controller, and Julie and I are trying to figure out how we can still add police department employees. It's a discussion we're having. We'll tell you right now, we're discussing salary increases. We're hoping to do citywide, but we have to do the math and see how we're going to do that. So we're looking at all these possibilities, but in the end, as Julie said, we know whose money we're playing with, and we've got to do what's right for you guys so that we set up the future of Marion and don't put us behind the 8 ball ever again. So we're going to be very frugal, but we're going to figure this out, and that's our intention, is how do we get there? The people that work for the city of Marion deserve that raise, I can tell you that. They're getting more done with less. If you don't believe that, should have been at the budget hearings. That's not Kathy Kiley, the city clerk's not there, but during those discussions, whoops, does water hurt a computer? But during those discussions, oops. You people at home didn't see that, but the mayor just knocked over his water bottle onto the computer, the laptop that's running the PowerPoint presentation. So anyway, I'll keep talking. What we've decided is we're going to try to get those police officers hired if we can. We're really working hard at that, and we're trying to figure out how to give the citywide raise to everyone. It's not a done deal. Does you have that hard copy? Hey, the check's in the mail, Kylie. But again, we're trying to get there. It's incremental change. I said it's a marathon, not a sprint. And we're working so hard to do that, and we will get there. We're determined to get there by being frugal, good stewards of your money, but we have to do what's right for the employees too. I always tell the employees and the unions that we deal with, there's 4 unions, my first responsibility is to do what's right by the people of this community. They're my bosses. They elected me. I work for them. My second responsibility is what's best for you guys, the employees, because you're out on the front line doing the work, and we'll continue to do that. But in that order, and sometimes that's hard because, again, we took on a financial picture that was bleak at best, and we've improved so dramatically, again, thanks to Julie, that we're now able to start looking at right-sizing the ship. We know we need more police officers. 9 homicides last year, the most ever. They worked their tails off and solved that last one. And when people think the police department are hardcore macho men, yeah, see them after children, or terrible things happen to children. Then see what kind of police officer you're dealing with. Yeah, sorry. You expect that, but you know, kudos to them. They get very little. They get very little positive feedback anymore, and it bothers me. Man, I would do the job. The mayor's job's a lot easier. People complain to the mayor. This could get very personal, and I'm just so thankful. Chief, Steph, Alex, tough year, but you did what you had to do, and you did your jobs professionally and very well. Kudos to you and your men and women. Thank you. Okay, sorry about that. I wasn't expecting to get that way, folks, but hey, I'm a human being. The mayor's just a title. You can call me town manager and I'd be happy. You know, I've lost that PowerPoint, so I'm just going to speak to you from my heart. We've come a long way. We've gotten buy-in from people all over this community, and couldn't do it without you. Is Design Co here? Wendy's here. Wendy, stand up. Wendy Puffer. You know, I say they were the ripple that started the collaboration efforts for the city and the community, city government and the community. We went out and reached out to them to help us with our brand and our website and you name it. And they stepped in and helped us. And we developed a bond with Dr. Wright at Indiana Wesleyan University. I will tell you, Dr. Wright is intentional about working closely with this administration for the betterment of Marion. They will soon have over 500 people in the old Ivy Tech building once they get that engineering school up and running, and then portions of that building will be able to be used by other entities. So we're thankful for that. They do want to be a partner. Dr. Wright was candid when I said, Dr. Wright, our board member is ready to get behind this, or because they don't live here, is this more of a challenge? And I'd be glad to speak to them on behalf of the partnership between the city and the university. He said that is a challenge, but he's trying to sell them on the need. If it's good for Marion, Marion's improving and getting healthier, how much easier will it be for local universities to recruit and retain students? It's a win-win for everybody. So I'm looking to partner with them. There is discussion going on right now, I'll jump over to this too, about the 911 call center. We think it's high time. I know Stephanie's here from the hospital. Stephanie and I talked after a meeting, it was about a different subject. We think that's high time that happens. I know there's some talk going on right now about how we do that, what's it gonna look like, who's gonna control it, who gets jobs, who loses jobs, because those variables are all part of it. Well, we're trying to get there, and we will get there. Let's go back downtown, because I told you when I started, I thought we had to fix the heart and soul of our community. We had to bring it back to life, and that's what's happening. And that's private investors are sticking their money on the line to say we believe change is really happening here. This is going to happen in Marion, and we want to be a part of it. We're going to get in on the front line. If you wait much longer, those buildings are only going to cost more because change is coming. What you may not know is, how many know Comforts of Home, Sherry French? Sherry just opened up another office back in her old location downtown. She has a business there again. I think it's called Bob Adams Furniture. Is that right, Tim? And I went by there yesterday just to welcome them, and Drake Yakel, I know about all the Yakels, I grew up with them. He's one of the young ones now, next generation. He's managing that store. Sherry was excited about the changes going on in Marion, and as I went out to talk to her business out on the highway, and she was telling me that she'd like to come back downtown. I said, well, don't wait too long, get down there now, be a part of the change, don't wait till it's already happened. She's opened the doors and up and operating now, so I encourage you to visit Sherry's store there, do business with her when you can. again, the downtown has come to life. It is a ripple that started. We all keep waiting. Marion National Bank hopes to have people living in it by November. Now think about that. By November of this year, they may have apartments open and running. Bill Reese is here with Old National Bank. I went by on a Sunday morning and there were a bunch of cars there. I thought, what are all those cars there for? So I go back around the block and I look in, the windows are tinted, but you could see a bunch of people. I said, oh, it's that yoga class. There's people in there doing yoga. A number of people in our community turned out to do something they enjoyed together. And that's what this is gonna happen. That's what's gonna change Marion. The people coming in, changing our community as business people and people on the outskirts coming in to help the cause. Like we do when our nonprofits and the mayor get together to figure out how do we change Marion? How do we help make Marion a better place? Then I said, well, wait a minute, where's our private investors? Where are the people that already own businesses downtown? I wanna hear from them. We're gonna mess with their dream when we start making change. So we brought them into the equation and we're listening to them and we're all trying to come together, and at times there's disagreements, but we're getting there. We're working through those disagreements. I don't think I saw Steve Wright here. Steve recently moved back and he attended the last downtown roundtable at the Marion Public Library, and during that, at the end of it, he said, I know a lot of you were hoping to have conclusive answers here, but I just think this is cool. I've never seen this happen in all my years in Marion. People are coming together, all trying to do what's best for the community, what's the right answer moving forward, and you're sharing your ideas and thoughts trying to get to that right answer. And I think it's crucial. I think we all need to work together and figure this out and do it the right way, and we're getting there. Again, this has been a team effort. I enjoyed every minute of this. Can't believe this is year 4, and I will tell you this, I look forward to seeing you guys here again next year. Thank you.